for our picture Hercules, and we also was there doing the Mike Douglas show. We did this show there.
Out of Cleveland, right. Well, as the gentleman said before, Joe, you and the work of the boys are still very much loved here in the Cleveland area.
Well, you know, they're replaying every 8 or 10 months. They put the shorts on here.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, we made 110 shorts with the cartoons in them.
Sure.
You know, we made them ourselves. You know, we had a live at the beginning, and then a cartoon in the middle, and then about a minute or so at the end that we made ourselves.
Well, they're running sometimes twice a week here in the Cleveland, 3 times a week in the Cleveland area. Sir, thank you very much for the call. Let's take another call for Joe DeRita if we could. 526-6707 or 578-1220. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show with Joe DeRita.
Hello?
Yes.
Good evening, Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Joe. Steve Cannon said you were going to be on Thursday night, and I've been waiting since Thursday night to listen to this. And years ago, we would go down to the old Madison Theater, which is closed now, to watch the Three Stooges, or we would watch them all on Captain Penny's show. And, of course, we would copy all of your antics, and it didn't go over too well with our mothers. And, of course, in the Catholic school, it never went over too well. They just didn't understand us then. But you're still loved, and I'm about one of your biggest fans here in Cleveland. I collect all of your pictures and your rappers, and I still even watch you. So I just wanted to tell you you're still loved, and take care.
Did you get that, Joe?
I'd like to tell you, yes. I say it's a good, long question. I couldn't hear. I heard her talking, but I can't.
Well, she has been a fan of the Stooges since she was a child. She said she and her friends loved doing the Stooges material, but it didn't go over real well at the Catholic school she went to.
Well, they don't allow poking in the eyes there.
No, I know they don't. Thank you for the call, man. Let's take another one here if we could. Joe DeRita with us, 578-1220 or 526-6707. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Joe. Can you hear me? This is Richard.
Hello?
Yeah, listen, what was your favorite all-time feature that you made?
I can't make out what you're saying. I hear your voice, but I can't distinguish.
Okay.
All right, I'll repeat it for you, Joe. They can hear you better than you can hear them. We've got some phone line problems here.
Okay.
Outside of your work with the Three Stooges, the gentleman said, what was your favorite feature that you appeared in?
My favorite feature picture?
Yes.
The Bravados with Gregory Peck.
Oh,
and
boy.
Joan, I did the villain, and I was the hangman.
Yes, I remember that well.
Okay, I wanted to ask, whatever happened to Vicky Trickett that appeared in my favorite Three Stooges film, Three Stooges Meet Hercules? Whatever happened to Vicky Trickett?
The lady named Vicky Trickett, who was in the Three Stooges Meet Hercules with you, what's ever happened to her?
Gosh, I don't know what happened to her. You lose track. You work with people, and you don't see them again for years.
It's been 20 years anyway since the film came out.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you for the call. Good to talk to you. 526-6707, 578-1220. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show with Joe DeRita.
Yes, I have 2 questions for Curly Joe.
Go right ahead.
Okay, first of all, Curly Joe,
Yeah?
what is the status of Coop's Tour? Is that available anywhere, that last travelogue movie you made?
Well, I'll tell you about Cook's Tour. We made that ourselves. That was supposed to be a film that we made ourselves. We went on a tour up around the Northwest in trailers and a house car and things, and we made it ourselves, and we come back, and we put our money into it, and we couldn't sell it because we were at the wrong time for the TV stations to market it. They had already, when we were ready, they had already bought their quota for the year. So we finally kept it, and we cut a couple of pieces out of it, and I think it's in a 16 millimeter someplace.
It is available.
It's for sale. Somebody's got a copyright on it because Norman told me they sold the thing just to get something out of it.
Also, I read about the new Three Stooges act they had in 74 and 75 with you, Mousy Gaynor, and Frank Mitchell.
What did he say?
You and Mousy Gaynor and Frank Mitchell working together. Did that, whatever happened to that?
Oh, we did 2 days outside of Boston and 1 day at a county fair in Iowa.
And that was...
I wanted to take him out and try it out. Mowing was all right then. It was just Larry that wasn't well.
Was that your last show business work of any sort?
It didn't go too well, he said, so that was the end of it.
Was that his last show business appearance ever?
Was that your last show business appearance, Joe?
What?
Was that your last show business appearance? It was, sir.
Yeah, I came home and we called it a day. It was just you couldn't put somebody else's personality in another person.
Sir, I thank you for the call. Good to talk to you tonight. 526-6707 or 578-1220. We'll continue to talk with Curly Joe DeRita right after we do this. Stay with us.
We've got to sell our house. Don't panic.
Where are we going to find a buyer?
It's not easy. Let me get started.
A Century
Food Mart has just what you want.
All right, at 13 before 8 o'clock on Stereo 1220 GAR. Let's get back to the telephones once again. As you have noticed, we have a line problem between California and Cleveland tonight, so I may have to translate a few of the questions or translate a few of Joe's responses. But I have worked as an interpreter before, but never in a comedy act. This is a first for me. Let me take another call if we could. Joe DeRita is in California. You and I are here in Cleveland. Let's go to the phones. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show.
Good evening, Steve.
Yes, sir. I need you to speak a little louder, please, if you would.
I'm sorry, Joe, can you hear me?
I think he can just barely hear you. Go ahead with the question. I'll translate.
Okay, I have two questions. First of all, I want to know what he thinks was the high point of his career working with the Stooges, and also what was his all-time favorite motion picture he ever did with them.
All right. Gentleman has a fairly easy question. The high point in your estimation of your career with the Stooges, and what's the favorite film you did with the Stooges?
Well, I would say my favorite was Around the World in a Day, but I liked Hercules. The Three Stooges meet Hercules, and I also liked the Western. The Western we made.
The Outlaws is Coming.
Huh? Yeah, The Outlaws is Coming.
Right. Does that answer your question, sir?
Now, what about the other one?
His favorite...
No, the high point of his career during working with them.
Outlaws is Coming, Around the World in the Days, and Hercules.
And those three are the high points of his career with the Stooges.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you very much for the call. Good to talk to you. 526-6707 or 578-1220. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show with Curly Joe.
Yes, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a 78 record here at home, and it's one side is All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth, and the other side is called I Got a Cold for Christmas. I was wondering if Curly Joe was one of the ones singing in that by the Three Stooges. It's a little 78 record.
Did you do a Christmas record with the Stooges, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
We made several records. We made one for Decca singing songs. We made a Christmas record for a company in New York. I don't know whatever happened to that.
Well, the gentleman has a copy of you singing All I Want for Christmas is My Two Front Teeth.
Well, he's lucky because I haven't got any now.
Does he know if any of them are still in print or still?
I kind of doubt after all of these years. Yeah.
Okay, then.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for the call. 526-6707 or 578-1220. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show.
Hi. First, I wanted to congratulate you, Steve, on your expanded hours.
Thank you.
Okay, my question for Joe DeRita is, does he have any comment on this movie with the grandchildren of the Three Stooges that you were talking about before?
There is some talk, Joe, about the possibility of maybe the Stooges' grandkids doing a rebirth of the Stooges using themselves as the actors. How are you feeling about that?
What did you say?
There has been some talk, apparently, and Joan brought that up 2 weeks ago, that the Stooges' grandkids may, in fact, resurrect some of the old scripts and cast themselves in the Stooges' roles for films. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, I never heard of it.
Never heard of it happening. Well, at any rate, that's your answer, sir, and I thank you for the call. 526-6707 or 578-1220. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show.
Hello, Mr. Cannon.
How are you?
Hi. This is a pleasure to be able to talk to you, and I'm 21 years of age, and I just like to be able to tell my children that I have been able to talk to Curly Joe from the Three Stooges.
You are 29?
21.
21.
Years of age.
Do you have any children yet?
I'm working on it. I'm not even married yet.
You're working on it. Oh, I see. You're not married yet. Oh.
And I am grateful to be able to say that I have been able to talk to, or that he has listened to my voice. And it's just fascinating.
Well, Joe is a lovely guy, and I'm sure he's just as pleased to be able to talk to you as you are to talk to him. Right, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
That's fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. Good to talk to you tonight. It is 9 minutes before 8 o'clock at Stereo 1220 GAR. Man, today. 6 minutes now before 8 o'clock at Stereo 1220 GAR. We have Curly Joe DeRita on the telephone with us of the Three Stooges. And Joe is in California. We in Cleveland are having a little bit of trouble hearing each other between the coast and here, but I'm more than pleased to have Joe with us. Television, Joe, takes a lot of young kids who do comedy and catapult them into national recognition rather rapidly. As an actor of long standing, is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Do you think kids ought to pay a few more dues in comedy before they get some success?
I tell you, the trend of comedy today has changed with the stand-up comedians. Everybody that comes, I watch the Carson show every night, and he has some guys on there that are very unfunny, but they're trying. You know, but at least it's a place for them to try their word out.
But it's a heck of a place to break in front of 30 million people, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you. And the other shows around town. And there's a few clubs that the guy can go down and do a routine in front of the drunks and see how he is. But it's the only place for them to learn their trade, because you can't go to a smart nightclub and do it and try out. But
right.
They have places where they take these people and let them come in and put them on one night and try them out and see what they have, and the next night they got somebody else there, because the vaudeville's gone. There's no, there's no place for them to learn their trade. Like when I was a boy, there was a place to go. There was a place for stepping stones. You could go in vaudeville, small-time vaudeville, and if you did good there, then you could move up to the next circuit, up until you got better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but today there's no place for them to go. But a lot of them are doing very good, especially the musicians. But a guy plays one song as a hit, he's a star.
Do you have any young kids that you've seen on television lately who kind of appeal to you? Some young comic who you think is pretty good?
Oh, gosh, no. I can't say offhand, because half the time you forget their names after you see them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing like experience, and that's what most of them need. And when they do get a break on a show like the Carson show or the Merv Griffith show, and it used to be the Douglas show too when he was going strong out here, there was some place that they could get on. But today there's no place. There's just these little supper clubs and little beer joints and things where maybe a Friday and Saturday they have a stage show, you know?
Mm-hmm. Let me take one last phone call here for you, Joe, before we go to our news break. I have the second super trivia question also coming up, so stay with us. Good evening. You're on the Steve Cannon Show with Curly Joe.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if Joe, all those violent stunts that they used to do, I wonder if any of them ever got hurt.
Guy wants to know if at any time during the stunts any of you guys ever took a pop that you shouldn't have. Maybe somebody got hurt. Anything at all?
On the sets, no. One time it was raining and we were playing a fair in Pittsburgh. It was at night, a night show, and the stage was out in front of the grandstand. And Mo backed up too much and fell off the stage. The stage was up about 5 foot off the ground, you know.
That's right.
And we thought he really got hurt. But usually with sound effects that they used in the pictures made it sound much more than it was.
Never on screen, but Mo fell off stage once.
Yeah, what about those hammers? What were those made out of? You always hit everybody with a hammer.
While making a picture.
Right.
The boys, I understood, got hurt a couple of times when they roughed it up in the early years. But they were pretty careful.
The guy who called wants to know what those prop hammers were made out of that you used to bop each other with.
Oh, they used to be rubber. They were made out of rubber. The end of it, you got hit with was rubber, and the saws were rubber. They had a prop department over there that made all that stuff for them.
Right. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call.
That they would put in later made it sound, big.
And they always did sound big. And I must tell you something, Joe. It has been an absolute treat to get a chance to talk to you tonight. I thank you very much.
I'm very glad.
The Steve Cannon Show is on a 7-second delay. A portion of this caller's comments have been removed from the air due to content.
A man named George Young is listening. Just say hello for me.
All right, George Young, if you are listening,
He's a friend of mine.
Joe DeRita says hello.
He's in real estate, and he used to own the Roxy Theater in 35.
Tremendous. Curly Joe, thank you again, my friend. And remember, Cleveland still loves the Stooges.
Thank you. And what is your station name?
WGAR.
Okay, I'll drop you a line.
Thank you very, very much, Joe. Good to talk to you. All right, let's go back to our envelope here. That was a kick. I almost choked 2 or 3.